Hello and welcome. Today we will be presenting an online Goldfish card game interface made by Ikran Ahmed and myself, Macaulay Amobi. What is Goldfish? Goldfish is a classic card game that is typically played with a standard deck of 52 cards and is designed for 2 to 6 players. The objective of the game is to collect the most pairs of cards by asking the other players for specific cards to form 4 sets or a sets of 4. Each player is dealt a hand of cards while the remaining cards form a draw pile. Players take turn asking their opponents for specific cards they need to form pairs. If the opponent has a requested card, they must give it to the asking player. If not, they say go fish, and the asking player must draw a card from the pile. The game continues until all pairs have been collected, and the players with the most pairs/books at the end wins. Traditional card games lack the interactive and engaging digital versions that make players invested. And with the rise of digital entertainment, there is a demand for accessible games that help harbor social interactions and fun. Now, we're going to be speaking on the project objectives of the Go Fish game. What problem does this project solve? This project helped me and my partner to learn to build interactive applications using HTML and CSS. The goals of the project was to create an interactive card game that runs in a browser, focus on responsiveness and styling with CSS, make an interactive user interface, create a digital version of GoFish where users can play friends or family anytime. Now I'm going to offer some background information about GoFish. This is a fun classic game that friends and family play to encourage memory and strategy thinking. The main target audience for this game is friends and family who enjoy the game but are far apart, and anyone looking for a casual gaming experience. Technologies used for the game was HTML for the game structure and CSS for the styling and implementing of fun transitions and animations.
Hi and welcome. This is the live demo run of the Go Fish game. Right now we're on the home page. As you can see, it's a simple home page with a background designer to set the tone for the Go Fish game. It has different options: play versus computer, play versus opponent, settings, and exit, which all link to a different page as part of the game. So first we have play with computer.
Yes, so this is the game HTML. As you can see, there's a return to home page where the user can click if they want to go back to the home page. There's also an exit button where they can go back to the exit screen if they decide to stop playing the game. The top part of the game, it has the opponent content where there's a icon for the opponent icon, and on the right side there is the opponent's book where it tells you the number of books that the opponent has. The opponent area has their cards laid out. On the player area, there is 4 cards where the cards are placed, and there's a animation when the game's first loaded in to show that the cards have been shuffled, and once the opponent card has been moved to the player's hand, the book has been made and the glowing animation starts. The cards can be flipped over, and if the user wants to press the go fish button, if they hover their mouse over the fish icon, it would get slightly bigger. This mimics a on click button, and there's a player icon as well to show that this is where your cards will be placed. So now let's go back to the home page.
So the second option is the play versus opponent, which is basically the same as the play versus computer. It has all the features from the previous one. The only difference is you're playing against a computer now.
And if they finish playing, they can type in or leave a review. And this is so we can get user feedback for the game to improve it further. So that is our Go Fish game.
Okay, thank you for watching and see you next time, hopefully.
Code highlights for homepage.html. This is the homepage of the game where you can access all the available options like player versus computer, player versus opponents, the settings of the game, and then you can have the option to exit the game. It is made using a simple design of a card table and a fish picture as image background and design to further set the tone of the game. The options listed in the homepage of the game are linked to the other pages for the whole project, like the player versus computer, player versus opponent settings, and exit. And then for structure, the options and the fish picture are put into divs for better design.
Code highlights for the game HTML. There is a link back to the home page in the header, which means it is the first thing the user sees when playing. The opponent content. The opponent content has the opponent's icon and the number of books that the opponent has. This also has an exit button if the user decides to go to the exit screen. Opponent area. This is the area that the cards will be placed in. There are 4 cards, and each card has a front and back image, except the first card, which will be the card that will be moving to the player's hand. The inner card is where the opponent's card will be flipped. The deck area is between the opponent area and the player area. It has an image of a deck of cards that the player will choose from when they have to draw from the deck. The player area is where the player cards will be placed. There is a back and front image of each card. The player content is where the player icon and the Go Fish button is placed. There's also a books icon that tells the player how many books they have. Highlights for the Style2 CSS. This is the style sheet for the game HTML. The body has a background color of dark olive green and a margin of 0. The A tag has no decoration and has a color of red text for design aesthetics. This is the styling for the exit and return to homepage link. The game container has a flex box so that the elements are aligned in the center. The opponent content is displayed in line so that the images are in the same line as each other, and padding has been added so that there is space between the images. 4 animations in this game. The grow animation gives the illusion that the cards were randomly selected from the deck, which makes it look like shuffling was already done to the cards. The move card animation moves the opponent's card to the player's hand. The visible animation makes the new card visible when the opponent card has been moved. The book glow animation shows a white glow when a book has been made, and it will be added to the player's book collection. The grow animation was applied to every card image in the player's and opponent's hand. The first opponent card has a move card animation because this is the card that will be moving. The player and opponent card both have a hover element that flips the card 180 degrees when hovered. The player and opponent card both have a back and a front image that will not be visible to the user, so when the card flips, the other side can show. Both the player and opponent card have an inner card area where the flip will happen. There is a preserved 3D transform effect which will make the card area look 3D. There's also a box shadow to make it look more realistic. The player content div places the player icon, the Go Fish button, and the book collection in the same line. The text is also white, which was a styling choice that matched with the content, the opponent's content. The Go Fish button grows slightly when hovered over to mimic the effect of clicking a button. Highlights for the setting HTML. This web page provides the user with setting options for the Go Fish game interface. It has a H1 tag for the setting title and a paragraph tag for the two setting options. The first option allows the user to turn off or on the sound in the game, and the second option allows the user to change the brightness level of the game. These elements were aligned in the center of the page with padding so it can have an aesthetic design that is consistent with the other pages in the game. Code highlights for the exit HTML. This web page gives the user an exit screen to choose whether to return to the home page, continue playing, or leave a review. This is done by wrapping a link to the other web pages of the Go Fish game around the paragraph tags. There is a leave a review text area and button so the user can type their opinions about the game. The web page also has text aligned centered and padding for aesthetic purposes and has a consistent design with the other web pages in the game.
So now that we're done with the showcase of the game, I want to go over the conclusions and next steps we have for the game. For conclusion, I'm going to talk about the summary of the key takeaways, which was we developed a front-end user interface for a Go Fish game using HTML and CSS, and we combined the HTML and CSS to create structure and design. Achievement and impact. The major achievement and the impact for this project is the fact that it is accessible from any device with an internet connection. This enables friends and family far apart to play the game. And for future plans, we plan to introduce a multiplayer option for better engagement where a player can play against up to 4 people at a time and add enhancements like themes and sound effects to further bring the game to life.